2001, Midland Mainline put in an order of £220 million to Bombardier in Bruges to build them a brand new fleet of passenger express trains. And this is the outcome, the Class 222 Meridians. How pleased are you with this fleet? I mean, we're still in the initial stages. It's only been since May that they were introduced to the timetable. How pleased are you?
You're almost reluctant to say it, but it has been a fantastic introduction. They have run superbly well. You're always nervous because, yes, there is a base to this train that is the Voyager, but as Bombardier will tell you, about 80% of everything under the floor has changed. So effectively it's a new train, and it's very unusual to get a new train that's going to work first time out of the box. The Midland Mainline Meridian has.
So what subtle differences would a passenger perhaps not notice that you have made to the train?
Well, the difference is that passengers have already noticed is that we have actually increased the headroom quite considerably on the Meridians compared to the Voyagers. We've taken some of the lights out of the roof space and we've actually positioned them in the overhead luggage racks, and that throws light up. And for two reasons: very practical in terms of we've taken some mechanics out of the roof, and aesthetically actually having light bounce off the roof creates a greater feeling of space.
Because you also involve the staff who are going to be working on the trains as well to come up with what they would like to be working with.
Yeah.
What did they put in?
It has been absolutely critical to have our people involved all the way through. After all, they're the best people to actually tell you how the train works. So we have involved drivers, we've involved train managers, we've involved customer hosts who are actually using trains on a day-to-day basis for very practical things like delivering tea and coffee, delivering food, and actually driving it. We modify things actually at their request. So there's some very, very subtle differences on this train compared to any other train. The galley layout is superb. It is all logical. There are no crossovers between staff and chef. The doors, for example, they also have a little push button located in the floor, so that if one of our team are going through with tea and coffee, they simply kick the button and the door opens. There's no fiddling around.
What changes have you made for the drivers in the cab?
But there's some very subtle changes in terms of moving the train management system, so it's just out of eye shot. The speedometer, the way it was actually sitting on the dashboard, was at such an angle, when the sun shone on it, you couldn't actually see the dials clearly. So what we did was we literally just tilted it a couple of millimeters, and that meant the drivers could see it perfectly. So it was a range of very small, very subtle things that we did to make the operation of the train a lot better and a lot more easy for the driver. And of course they have got all the new technical information systems that are up there with the train management system that allows them to actually know what is going on in the train without having to get out of the cab and wander down to the power plant.
So let's take a look at the interior of one of these Meridians. The first thing you notice when you board the train is space. This vestibule has a lot of it. And the lights as well. It lights the way as you come in. You may have heavy cases with you. You know exactly where you're going. I like the curvature around towards this particular carriage with the big chunky handles, the lighting behind the handles, and of course access for wheelchair passengers. Now then, take a look at this. It's got baby changing facilities. It's big, it's bright, it's clean, and of course there's disabled access as well. A first class carriage then on one of these Class 222 Meridians. The first thing you notice, plenty of luggage space here, the electronic indicator boards here, and closed circuit television at both ends of the carriage. Now as we walk down the carriage, I like the feeling of space. It's got an airline feel to it with two seats on one side and one seat on the other. Big, nicely ergonomically designed seats with chunky armrests. I do like a good chunky armrest, and plugs for laptops and mobile phones. Little added extra bonus as well, these electronic reserved indicators here, which means that you can reserve a seat right up until the last minute. Also glass, nice little added extra on the luggage rack so you can see up and see your luggage. And this is standard class. Again, a good sense of space, well-lit carriages with two seating arrangement here. You've also got the plugs for laptops and mobiles. That's just not for first class. Table, of course, for drinks and any food as well. But again, I just can't convey the sense of space that one of these carriages has. We
really feel as if we have push the envelope. At the end of the day, we're still in a steel tube. We still need to put seats in it, but we can create a customer environment that customers actually really do start to appreciate. And once we have the whole fleet in, I hope it'll actually become an example of how you can actually introduce a new fleet of trains successfully that operates punctually, operates well, and actually creates a fantastic customer environment.